Welcome into the DNVR Rockies podcast. I am Patrick Lyons.
I'm Susie Hunter. Patrick, we have actual real news to talk about and a bunch of it.
So I'm Patrick. This is Susie. We cover the Colorado Rockies. This is for all the fans out there that probably haven't bothered to check in on the Rockies content at the trade deadline for 2 years because we haven't really participated. But guess what, folks?
Oh, we are participating this year.
We have arrived. We are a part of the trade deadline now.
You know what? It's just fun. It's just nice. It's nice to be included.
It does. I mean, I do want to get your takes on the second deal with the Angels and the second deal with Atlanta. Yeah, we'll talk about all those guys and everything else happening in the game of baseball. But this pretty much just broke, an hour or so before we went live here on Monday. 4 p.m. deadline. Mountain Daylight Time is the deadline.
So we got a couple of hours left.
We do. And we'll be down there, of course, covering it at DNVR_Rockies on Twitter is where you'll go for all that breaking stuff. And maybe we'll get a chance to talk with Bill Schmidt today. We'll kind of wait and see what happens. Also, 15 minutes after 4 p.m., we still could have news coming out. So be patient with that. It's exciting. We just have so much news already, as it were. Brad Hand, the latest to get traded to Atlanta for a right-handed AA reliever, Alec Barger.
Yes. You know what? It's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate how the Rockies just cannot get enough pitchers right now. And they know they need them, and they're actually going out to get them. And they're young, and they're prospects, and we don't know if any of these will come into fruition. But I guess, if it's a numbers game, one of these guys has to work out.
Well, that's the part right there, because we just learned a week or so ago with the three guys getting Tommy John surgery that are some of your top prospects. Well, you need to fill that spot just a little bit. And sure, the Rockies already have guys in their system that are playing really well and are strong, but the more you have, the more likely it is they'll be able to get up to the majors and be able to contribute. So, and Alec Barger, North Carolina State alum, 17th round pick back in 2019. It's been mostly a reliever over the course of the last 2 years. Has good numbers with Mississippi down in the Southern League, 3.29 ERA, 48 strikeouts, and 38 plus innings pitched. Low 90s fastball that can touch 95, mid 80s slider with more sweep than depth. Okay, that's fine. Brad Hand was going to be a free agent at the end of the year. There's a mutual option between the Rockies and him for next year. It's at $7.5 million. That's kind of a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
But still, they bring him in, and then in a kind of two trades that put you in the same spot, but also bring in some young talent. They acquire Justin Brule, not Dr. Steve Brule for anyone who knows out there, but Justin Brule from the Dodgers for cash considerations, another left-handed reliever, guy who has a 3.65 ERA whenever he's been up with the Dodgers. Over the course of the last 3 years, he gets optioned to AAA Albuquerque, so you still have a guy right there on your 40-man roster.
Right there.
That can take the place of Brad Hand. That's kind of, you're adding while subtracting at the same time. And giving yourself players with more years of club control and more promise going forward as well. That's a win. I
was going to say, getting someone who can make appearances with the Rockies a little sooner rather than further down the line. We do need some bodies.
It's true.
We need some bodies for right now.
And we'll maybe get into it more during the offseason. I know the guys over at Blake Street Banter were all over the fact that, hey, a lot of these guys are probably up for Rule 5 consideration at the end of this year. They really didn't have too many guys. Jack Blomgren, there was only a handful that really needed to be put on the 40-man roster in November this year. So the fact that they've got so many now that they'll have to make that decision about isn't necessarily a bad thing. We'll get to Monday's game, thwarting those Padres. Kale is very excited. They thwarted.
Oh, okay.
Did they not thwart?
Okay, SAT words. Let's go.
There was a lot of thwartations going on.
Thwartations.
Okay, that one's not. Now I've just lost all credibility. But Kale's pumped because we're spoiling the Padres season a little bit, and sometimes that's all you can hope for in a year like this. That's nice. We'll get into that. But yeah, let's get your take on the CJ Cron, Cron Grichuk deal from Sunday night. Long day at the ballpark.
Long day at the ballpark.
It doesn't end.
Okay, I swear, maybe this is TMI, but both of these trades that have happened while I was in the shower. Or like this
you
trade
go.
happened while I was in the shower, and then the Brad Hand trade happened while I was in the shower. So it's like I'm getting out and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's news happening like in this like short span of time that I was not on my phone. How dare they? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I want to talk about, yes, this CJ Cron, Randall Grichuk trade that brings back a couple of prospects that we're probably not going to see for a little bit, but you know what? We needed to unload these guys. We needed to. Nothing personal. Love CJ Cron, love Randall Grichuk, but we needed to make some room. And you know who I love this for the most?
Who's that?
Michael Anthony Toglia.
That's true. He kind of slots in there perfectly. He can play first base. He can play right field. Two positions that Cron and Grichuk were a part of right then and there. That's fantastic. Montero's going to get more playing time. We'll talk about how he immediately kind of emerged a little bit on Monday night, which was great. And that also coincides with Brendan Rodgers, the return of B-Rod, July 31st. It comes back in July when it seemed like, at least that was the story we were being told. Well done. I appreciate a good story. He's out for the year. Forget it. That's it. Here he's back for the final 2 months of the season.
I mean, you
That's
never,
great.
I mean, he like totally tore his shoulder apart. So, I mean, you really never know how someone's going to recover from that. So I'm so glad that we are pleasantly surprised rather than maybe with some other injuries, unpleasantly surprised.
Very true.
You know what? Let's take this one win
Yeah.
where we can.
As you said, prospects probably aren't going to be helping out just yet. They're set to go to Low A Fresno. In fact, in talking with Chris Forbes yesterday, I had not realized that Fresno. You know who Fresno was playing over the weekend? They were playing the Inland Empire 66ers. So they did it again. They took two guys from the Angels and they walked across the clubhouse to meet their new teammates.
No way.
Again, yeah.
No.
I hadn't realized it.
That is something.
That's wild.
That is something.
He did laugh. He's like, yeah, that's the only way we're going to be doing trades. So look at the matchups today down in the minor leagues. Those are the only possible trade combinations that we're going to see. Jake Madden, I wanted to do a little know your purple prospect, fact or fiction.
Fact
This is
or
for you,
fiction.
Susie.
Okay, all right, let's do it.
Jake Madden, he's a 6'6" right-handed starter. This is his first full professional season. True. Yes. Ding, ding, ding. There you go. What college did he go to? Was it Northeast California A&M? Fact or fiction? He went there. He went to Northeast California A&M.
That sounds like a fake school.
So you're going fiction?
Fiction.
You'd be correct.
Okay.
Did he go to Northwest Florida State College?
No.
He did, yes. That's all. Also, very fake.
Sounds super fake.
It's a junior college, but still.
Oh, okay.
Northwest Florida State College. Okay. All right. So NWFSC. Is it located in Cool Town, Florida?
No.
Fiction. Correct. Kind Beach, Florida.
No.
Correct. Niceville, Florida.
Maybe.
I need an answer.
Sure.
All right. You're on the board. Niceville, Florida. All right. Now, Northwest Florida State College competes in what conference? Is it the Big Seven Gulf Conference?
No. That doesn't sound real.
You'd be correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Fiction. Panhandle Conference.
Yes.
2 out of 3. You got it. There we go.
My instincts. I'm not Googling these things. I'm just, I saw a comment about what happened in Albuquerque last night, so I'm pulling up what happened in Albuquerque last night. We'll talk about it, I guess. But
It checks out. You're good.
this is also not last night. So.
I've got a mirrored situation, so I can see what's on your laptop. So I know you're being honest. You're good. You're being real. You're good when it comes to getting these things correct, making predictions, making bets. It's probably why you should check out Bet365, Susie.
Yes. Oh, we also have some Bet365 swag sitting in the
Oh, I did see
room.
that. I might need to grab something. Glasses, polo. Do we have like a...
Listen, I'm just like constantly winning.
That's pretty good. Well, you're going to win when you go to
There
Bet365
we
because you turn $1 into $200 in bonus bets instantly when you join 365. Because all you got to do is download the app, deposit $10, and claim over $200 in bonus bets as soon as you place a bet for $1. Download the Bet365 app and use code DNVR365 when you sign up. It's pioneered live in-game betting, 80 million users worldwide. They've live streamed 780,000 different events each year. They're also a proud partner of the Colorado Rockies. And with their Bet365 baseball early payout offer, it's really great, especially this time of the year when teams will come back out of nowhere. Well, guess what? You're a winner if your team goes up by 5 runs. Immediately, automatically, you are a winner. Parlay and same game parlay selections will be marked as winners. So download the app and use code DNVR365 when you sign up. Must be 21 years old or or older, and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Volo Sport, largest sports company in the U.S.
Ooh, and they have a deadline coming up. The August deadline is Thursday.
August 3rd, that's right. It's coming up. You got to get in there. So you join a league all around the city.
You know what they have coming up for August?
What's that?
They got the bowling league at Bolero Cherry Creek.
Nice.
That's on Monday nights.
Okay.
There's a cornhole league at Odell Brewing.
Oh, that's a great spot to be at.
Yeah. Also, cornhole, like what a vibe. And then bocce Wednesday and Thursday, City Park Wednesdays, York Street Yards Thursday. So that's what they have going on those are like great August games.
Those are so perfect. Yeah. Yeah, they've got all kinds of stuff going on. Uptown, City Park, Highlands, Sloan Lake, you name it. They've got pickleball, mini golf, like all kinds of stuff, you name it. Make sure you check that out at volosport.com. They've got some great deals. And the cool thing is the Volo Kids Foundation is a separate 501c3 that provides free sports camps to kids in each Volo city. So when the adults play, the kids get to play for free.
Everyone wins.
Everybody wins.
Everyone wins.
Some interesting wrinkles to this trade deadline season, which we are able to celebrate here. We miss our guys, but interesting wrinkles as far as Cron Grichuk is concerned. Grichuk goes out, hits a home run in his first game with the Angels.
Well, you know what? I mean, why would he cool down just because he hopped on a flight and went to another team? He's been unstoppable here in Colorado, and he's just keeping it up.
He had just gotten like a haircut and he like shaved a couple days ago before the trade. But so seeing him in the Angels uniform.
Yeah. I mean, it's not an outfit.
It is. CJ Cron, something about both of them together, and because they used to be prospects, and there's pictures circulating about when they were prospects together. In fact, I wrote an article last year about them playing for the Arkansas Travelers and what that experience was like down in the Texas League. And so they just look like different human beings. I'm like, we just saw them on Sunday, and I almost don't recognize these guys just because they're wearing red instead of purple.
And also,
it's
like,
weird.
they're just in a totally different environment.
It's different.
Yo.
So they are in Atlanta. So they joined Mike Moustakas, former Rocky.
Yeah.
They're in Atlanta where Pierce Johnson is, and now Brad Hand's going there too. All five of those guys in the same friggin' place. What the hell?
That's actually so weird.
Well, we had been saying, a couple weeks out, look for the Rockies to maybe make deals with teams they feel comfortable with. And it's better that they're making deals than not, but Angels, they've done a couple with. Cleveland, going to be one of those teams that they could do that with. Atlanta, we're seeing a couple deals with them already.
Is it that the Rockies are comfortable trading with them, or is it that those are the only teams who are like, okay, we'll play ball with the Rockies because the Rockies have kind of, some trades have gone awry in the past, and not everyone feels comfortable doing trades with the Rockies?
No, for sure. I think it's pretty much both those things, right? Because look, you have a certain image to other teams. You don't want to be talking about, hey, we're going to acquire this guy, and then a certain amount of time goes by, other players get traded, and then you find out, hey, sorry, but our owner, Mr. Monfort, he nixed that deal. We can't make that trade with you. So you wasted all that time. So Rockies can be in a corner by themselves. And so, they need to learn how to play well with others, right?
Yeah.
And so they're starting to do that now. And that's really good to see with some off-season trades. Obviously, Sam Hilliard went there this off-season.
Yep.
I don't think we'll see anything between the Rockies and the Pirates, but that Connor Joe deal kind of, primed the pump a little bit. It opened a door, and that's really huge. That's the biggest takeaway here. Some of the haul that they got for some of their players might be a little lackluster. What they got for Brad Hand, a very serviceable guy that could pitch big innings for Atlanta in October. He was in those big innings for Philly last year. So I just have a feeling Brad Hand's going to be at 2 World Series in a row. Could be. Good for him. He also becomes, I believe, the first player to play with all 5 NL East teams. How about that? Or maybe first reliever? He's definitely a first. We'll look it up. That's pretty impressive. I do want to acknowledge AJ's comments. Angels in the outfit would be a fun follow-up movie. AJ, you're hilarious. We got Christian in the chat. Rocks versus Rocks. LOL. LOL indeed, my friend. Yeah. We need to see who the Angels are playing next and who Atlanta's playing next, because those also could be teams that the Rockies make trades with, because they all have to go. And I don't know if they're saving any money on chartered flights. I'm not really sure how that works. What was interesting, Cron, of course, got to see his dad with Oakland. He'll get to see him 2 more times now this year, as they're both in the AL West. Kind of neat. And then Grichuk, drafted, developed by the Angels, but he was traded to St. Louis just before he was set to make his debut. So that was his first game ever with the Angels, despite having all this history with them. That's kind of neat.
That's really sweet. You know what? I love when the story... We love this narrative. Angels are playing the Mariners next.
Ooh,
Do we
right,
know?
so-
I don't think we know the Mariners. I don't think we have any numbers there.
No.
I don't think we know anyone.
The Mariners are kind of shedding some payroll. They made a deal with the Diamondbacks that we'll talk about here in a second. The game last night was long. The game itself, I don't know how long it ended up being. Maybe a little over 3 hours.
Which
Maybe
is
it was
not bad
3.
for extra innings.
Yeah, it might not have even been
But
3
also,
hours.
like, this was such a messy rain delay that reminded me of the stuff in DC where it's like there's a rain delay, but then when they start the game, the weather's actually worse. Kind of felt like that kind of vibe. Except last night seemed miserable.
2 hours and 20 minutes.
Miserable. 2 hours and 20 minutes?
Was the rain delay.
Oh, I thought you meant time. I'm like, how?
2:51 was the time of game. So, but still, altogether, you had that up 5 hours. We almost hit midnight. That was another one. I was like, I thought we're done playing games past midnight. Well, we are.
I was going to say, like, when we were in DC, it was almost midnight. Like, I was looking back at my, recordings from post-game stuff, and I was like, these were after midnight. Like, I hate this.
Yeah, I know. There's any East Coast Rockies fans non-existent because the games are already 2 hours later.
I think I was the only East Coast Rockies fan, and then I became a non-East Coast Rockies fan.
It could be. Yeah, that makes sense. Rockies win in 10, as we talked with Jeff Sanders yesterday. Go back and listen to that either as a podcast or on the DNVR Sports channel on YouTube. Leave a comment there. We can go back and look at those comments as well and talk about them the next day on the show on YouTube. Leave us a review over on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to this, Spotify.
We love reviews.
We need some of those reviews.
The most recent review, like one of the more recent reviews is just like mean to me. So like if you want to leave a nice review for me, like please be my guest.
Well, I think it was a mixed message one of the last comment that I saw. It was just, Susie, please take more showers because there are more players that need to be traded before the deadline. So they weren't saying like you smelled. They were just saying like, come on, if you're really committed to this and we want to really stockpile the farm system, we need more showers. That was it. That was what was meant.
All right, speaking of these transactions, we have a comment from Jake. Rockies 14 of 21 draft picks were pitchers, acquired 6 pitchers through trades. They must love the position players in the org. Well, I think it's more so that we need pitchers so badly.
Yeah, but they do love their position players. I mean,
and also, yeah, they do.
we've been talking about it for at least the last month. There's kind of a roster crunch right now in a sense where you've got the guys pre-2020 and post-2020. They're kind of batting right up against each other. You know, all these guys are, a lot of them are in Hartford right now in Double-A. Hunter Goodman just hit the single season record with his 24th home run in Hartford. He hit some last year as well. And it seems like you're looking at it and saying, why isn't this guy up in Triple-A? He needs to be in AAA by this point. Yeah. So there's a bit of a, there's not necessarily that space. Those old young rookies and the young prospects, as it were. So there is a bit of that crunch that they've definitely need to sort out. So unless they can get some young hitters that are in low A, that could be good. That could be fine. But you're right. Yeah,
we just need pitchers. We need all the pitchers we can get. We're kind of like, we're just going to throw it at the wall, see what sticks. We're going to throw it at the wall, see what pitchers actually pan out. Kale, is Jake from the comments a friend of yours?
If it's who I think it is, I think we went to high school together.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Jake, did you go to high school with Kale? Please let us know in the comments. This show is for you. Also, it's Tovar's birthday.
There's a Jake Smith in the Nuggets comments all the time that I did go to high school with. So I think it's the same person.
Oh, well, thank you for coming over from the Nuggets and consuming some Rockies content.
I wanted to say, when you're talking about throwing it against the wall, it's called the spaghetti strategy in baseball.
I have never...
You heard that term?
I swear I had never heard that term, and I heard it the other day. No,
I just made it.
No, you didn't, because I heard it the other day.
No, I mean, I made it up in baseball parlance. No, but it is a real...
I didn't know the term. Like someone said it to me, I think, yesterday, and I was like, what?
Do you know the term BOGO? Are you familiar with that term?
Wait, hold on. Give me these. Wait, look at... These are your shady rays?
These are my new ones.
These are your new shady rays?
This is my round 2.
These are fly, Patrick.
I think RG has the same one, so we got the same taste.
These are so good.
They're really good. They're super durable, so I'm not worried about breaking them, but if they do break, they replace it. That's one of the cool things about Shady Rays. If you lose it, they'll also replace it. It's pretty fantastic. If you don't like it, you can exchange for a new pair or return them absolutely for free within 30 days.
These are my new ones.
They're fantastic.
These are like I feel like these just changed my whole aesthetic.
It's true. You might have lost the 80s wedding singer vibe that you just had going on.
I think a
little bit, maybe.
I think I'm more 70s now.
Could be. Well,
Maybe.
you could be, it's like a crossover wedding singer Top Gun mashup. Maybe if there's characters walked into the same bar together, what would it look like? Boom, right here, thanks to Susie and Shady Rays. You buy one, you get one free. You go to the Park Meadows Mall, get 2 or more pairs. You get 50% off those bad boys. They're pretty darn fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, Backus and Shanker.
Backus and Shanker!
Whoa, that was like a postseason national anthem type version. You took it to another level on that one.
I was feeling spicy.
Well, you know what? Backus and Shanker are taking it to another level because they're supporting Colorado families. They win for Colorado families to the tune of over $1 billion over the past 25 years. Best part is they're working for you for free. In fact, you can call them just to consult for free. They're working on your case for free until you win. No money until they win you money. They got locations in Denver, Aurora, Inglewood, Fort Collins, up and down the state. It's amazing. 30 lawyers, 100 folks on staff. Check them out. They can help out with all kinds of injury cases where you weren't at fault. Car accidents, motorcycle, rideshare, pedestrian, trucks, you name it. Go to coloradolaw.net or just give them a call. Even easier at 222-2222 to find out if you have a case for free because Backus and Shanker wins.
Thank you, AJ. AJ says I have Daisy Jones vibes. I haven't watched that show, but I see a lot of stuff about it. And you know what? I think you're right.
Rockies win in extras, and the Padres, as we learned yesterday from Jeff Sanders of the San Diego Union Tribune, fall to 0-10 in extras.
Hilarious.
That's wild.
That is so. Imagine being the Padres.
That would, if you're having a bad year, like if the Rockies had like an 0-10 run in extras, they've won a couple this year that way, but you go, it's going to happen. But when you're a team, like you need to win those games. They're not winning 1-run ball games either. In fact, the 1969 Montreal Expos are the only team with a longer losing streak in extra innings to start a season. 0-12. Padres right there. 0-10.
Haha.
They've also failed to win 4 games in a row. They haven't won 4 games in a row all year.
If I were a San Diego Padres fan, I would be pulling my hair out. Like that has to be so infuriating. Like as frustrated as, Rockies fans may be, like imagine like your team actually is going for it and like they're just fumbling the bag.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it is. They did make a trade to bring in some reinforcement.
They got some dudes from the Pirates.
They did. Rich Hill and G-Man Choi, about 3 prospects, I think, going over to Pittsburgh. None of them whose names really jumped out at me as being like, oh, this is a top guy. They don't have too many top guys. They really got
Because they cleared out a lot to make room for what they have going on right now.
That's it.
And then it's not worth it yet.
No, this is their window, obviously, for contention. So they've got Ethan Salas, who's 17-year-old catcher that's, otherworldly. You almost can't trade him. Jackson Merrill.
Oh, you couldn't. Like, that would be... Oh.
No, especially for a team that's out on the outside looking in. Maybe this offseason, if you can swing some kind of crazy trade to help prop open that window. But right now, not the case. Ryan McMahon with the sacrifice fly in the 10th inning. Brenton Doyle scores on a fly ball that only traveled 276 feet.
That was wild.
He made a nice play.
I got to say, that 10th inning was so weird.
It was.
Both sides.
Padres had the bases loaded with no outs. Matt Cook gets out of that. That was fantastic.
I was home last night, but I was screaming at the TV. I was like, oh my gosh. Hate to see the bases loaded. Love whenever the Rockies can weasel their way out of it. That was Brad Hand's parting gift to us.
The Weasel, Brad Hand? That would have been a great nickname.
No, you can't.
That's a great nickname for a reliever, though.
The Weasel?
Right?
We'll workshop
He escapes jams? Come on.
Okay.
So Justin Lawrence.
All right, I'm warming up to it.
No, it's a compliment. It's okay. Like Brenton Doyle, the Virginia creeper, man. He creeped home. He's out there creeping underneath fly balls, throwing out Juan Soto at home plate. That was a crucial play right there late in the game. You had Austin Gomber starting it off, looking really great. 6 innings pitched, 2 runs. He walked 2. First time for the entire month of July. His streak snapped somewhere around 30. He already has the franchise record, but still.
Yeah.
Finally
he
walks the guy.
Broke that franchise record at 27 innings without allowing a walk, which, chef's kiss. Buddy loved that.
Oh, yeah.
Was so happy. He was glowing.
Very happy with that. Finishes July with a 2.70 ERA over 5 starts.
I like that. I like that. That's the Austin Gomber that we love.
Yeah.
That's our favorite version of him.
But he didn't love Daniel Bard's outing. He was able to get Fernando Tatis on 2 pitches. Then he threw 6 consecutive balls before a mound visit. Kind of sorted out through a couple strikes there, kept it in the zone, which was good. But ultimately walked 2 batters in a row. And Buddy said, you know what? We got to go to Justin Lawrence for a 5-out save. He wasn't able to lock it down. He got out of the first jam there in the 8th. That Bard set up, but wasn't able to do it in the 9th. Trent Grisham with the solo home run. Man, that guy. He is a prototypical guy who should win 3 or 4 World Series in his career because of his defense, some clutch hitting. I mean, he's going to drive you crazy all season long, but if you can get to the postseason with him, he's going to come up big. So, and Brenton Doyle, that play in the 8th to get Soto, that was also super critical. 1 out away from locking down that save. That would have been nice.
Oh, it would have been nice. We know all's well that ends well.
Yeah.
Right?
Montero, the Elehuris era.
Oh my God. First of all, that was it the 10th inning where he slid into 3rd and Manny Machado dropped the ball and Montero points down it. That was like actual physical comedy. That was the funniest thing.
It was.
I thoroughly enjoyed that performance.
I really thought he was just going to walk it off, Montero. Like, no, this is his game. You know, hey, maybe Tolio is going to be the guy going forward at first base, you know, with the Gold Glove future, obviously hanging on him. He can still play outfield, but Montero, if you can get that kind of offensive output from him, all the more better. Really thought that was going to happen, but still did a nice job. RBI double. Scored 2 runs. There was an error by Grisham on the play, so he didn't get 2 RBI. Also made 2 really nice plays over at first base. Scooping the ball out of the dirt. You like to see that? Scoops Montero.
Scoops Montero. Okay.
I like it. I think that could have legs.
I'm warming up to it.
Whoever said that from the account, I like the nickname. Doesn't matter. DNVR Rockies, you can credit with Scoops Montero. New shirt, maybe? I don't know.
For some reason, D-Line hates all of our shirt ideas.
How about it looks like a box of...
I think he just hates the Rockies right now.
Yeah.
I think that's actually more of it.
If it looks like a box of cereal and it's like 2 scoops and it's Montero kind of in the middle with raisins, which are purple. So I think that works. That could play.
Please clip this and send it to D-Line so he can just at least mock this up. I want to mock up a cereal box.
Will do.
Thank you, Kale.
We should have a second arm of like DNVR Locker where it's just bootleg shirts that we only make like 10 shirts of in different sizes.
I'm going to start making bootleg DNVR shirts if Eric doesn't start listening to my ideas.
Just screen printed ones, even if they're just like black and white. Like it's just...
I'm just going to get fabric paint and make it myself.
Yeah, paint by numbers. Do that. But Ryan McMahon also had a home run earlier in the game, his 17th homer of the season. 29 out of 30. The only ballpark it wouldn't have donged, Oracle Park.
Oh.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
Alan Trejo hit one out earlier, or actually late in the game. That was 23 out of 30.
Alan
but it would
Trejo
have gone out in
was
Oracle.
so good last night. That
He was
throw
really nice.
to home where Diaz is just like basically doing a split. That was great.
Yeah, 2 plays
Honestly,
at the
like
plate.
that game yesterday was like some of the best physical comedy I've seen from the Rockies, but like in a good way.
Yeah, we should have had somebody diving out on the tarp. I mean, we did have that when it was sleeting, and we had all the hail.
It was the hail.
We had all the hail.
Hail.
That was pretty wonderful.
It was a weird time.
You know where you're not going to get any hail damage? Right here on the corner of Colfax, New York, at the DNVR bar.
Can you guarantee that?
I mean, there's a roof over our head. Kale's giving us a maybe. How bad could hail be?
Denver weather.
My car got some hail. Sorry. My car got some hail damage at the DNVR bar once, so.
Well, no, but I mean, the person.
I wouldn't inside, no.
Yeah, no,
In the
I'm not saying.
parking lot, though.
I'm not saying we have like a parking garage, like underneath a submerged
Wish we did.
garage. That would be kind of dope.
Make our lives a lot easier.
We got a problem with parking here? No.
Us? No. We don't.
We
No.
don't.
No.
No, customers don't either. It's fantastic because you come in.
Everyone's having a good time here.
You also have got no issues with the fact that you're going to get 15% off food and drink. You get 20% off all the merch over at dnvrlocker.com. Maybe in the future, you might even get more than that at dnvrdarkweb.com. Not a thing yet. Not a thing yet.
You know what? I will add. AJ's in the comments, of course, saying D-line hates our shirt ideas too. I'm glad it's the Avs beat too, and not just the Rockies.
It's true. All right, so we might be able to stage a coup. We might be able to stage a DNVR locker coup.
Oh, D-line, your days are numbered. We are starting a coup.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't want to run it. I just want to like a job in the cabinet of this kind of dictatorship that Eric has going on over at DNVRlocker.com, where again you get 20% off all the tailgates that we got going on. Man, Broncos, it's going to be coming up. We got the Friday night live shows.
Oh, those are going to be so good.
Those are going to be cool. They're right here at the DNVR bar. Buffs are coming up this Friday.
Buffs is this Friday, yeah.
Yeah, Broncos and the preseason watch party is going to be next Friday, August 11th. So you got to come down and check that out. All kinds of really good deals.
I'll have a Susie show on Friday too, so Friday's going to be stacked.
Popping off. All right. Speaking of popping fresh. Nope.
No?
No.
I don't know where you're going with this.
I have no transition. Sometimes I like to just do like a head fake.
You talk first, you think later, and I love that about you.
Before we get to the why the West was won trade deadline edition, here are some of the remaining trade candidates for Colorado. I've got 6 of them. Most value and best haul that the Rockies would get as far as prospects are concerned.
Okay, lay them on me.
Elias Diaz, probably not going to happen.
You know what? I think just because he is, he's the All-Star Game MVP. That is a reason to get him out of here. His value's up. But because of that, we're probably going to hold on to him.
And honestly, yes, just on paper or black and white, you go, that's a mistake. You got to trade guys when their stock is high and you're not contending this season or probably next.
Yeah.
Again, it does depend on the haul that you get back. But considering all the other deals they've made, that's not entirely egregious. I can kind of give a pass on that. Veteran relievers, there were 2. Now we're down to 1. We're just down to Brent Suter. I think there may have been some interest in keeping him around, similar to Daniel Bard, and there was time to get that done. I don't know if there's enough time for that extension to happen just yet. So we're gonna have to wait and see on him. But he's probably the most likely to get dealt right now at this point.
I thought I could have sworn I really thought he would have already been dealt.
Yeah. Veteran hitters, we got 2: Harold Castro, Jurickson Profar.
I'm surprised Jurickson Profar too is still around.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Padres, that's kind of a natural fit. Are the Rockies too worried about trading within the division? Probably. More than they should? Probably. That being said, Castro and Profar could help some other teams out, especially as they can both hit from the left-hand side. Profar, a switch hitter. And then finally, sneaky value. You wouldn't want to see it, but depending on the haul, if someone comes knocking saying, hey, we really like these guys, they're controllable, they're making the league minimum, might as well, you have to listen. Jake Bird, Justin Lawrence. You don't want to see them go,
no,
but someone could knock your socks off, and you might have to listen to those offers.
You know what? I do wonder. Both of those guys have been so good, and like Justin Lawrence, he's just been filthy.
Yeah.
Filthy this season.
He has been. And you say, well, hold on, since they're going to be around for a while, all right, Patrick, if 2024, you're not going to contend, 2025, maybe that's when things start to turn. Maybe you're ready sooner than you think. Because like 2026 feels a little bit more comfortable. Unfortunately, go, hey, Justin Lawrence would still be on the team by then. Only thing is, he's already gone through arbitration. He's now becoming a little bit more expensive. And so you're not talking about a guy making the league minimum. That's your closer. And you go, man, this guy is a great value. That's what it all comes back to when it comes to these trades is value. That's why, the guy that Atlanta gave up for Brad Hand, you go, oh, man, that's not huge for a player like Brad Hand who's going to provide, some major innings for Atlanta in October. But it's partially because, of what Hand has left on his contract. It's that value, surplus value. So
value.
I don't think we're going to see either of those guys. It could really just be Suter and that's it. But
do you think we'll see another trade between now and the trade? Do you think we'll see another trade between now and by the time we get to Clubhouse?
Oh boy, no. I think the Rockies may have one more deal left in them.
I think so too. I think you know what they've been spicy today.
They are hoarding AA. They're hoarding pitching prospects now.
The Rockies will not rest until every single guy in the farm system is a pitcher. Just all pitchers
that they acquired from another team.
Why not?
And you know what? Hey, that's not a bad kind of hoarding.
We will not rest. West until we are only pitchers.
I'm kind of okay with that. Why the West was won trade deadline edition. We know what the Dodgers have done. You might need to pull up the old MLB trade rumors because we could have missed one in like the last 30 minutes that we've been talking.
I have like on my tweet deck right now, I just have a column of Jeff Passan's tweets.
He's going to get it done.
So actually within the past 20 minutes, Phillies acquired Michael Lorenzen from the Tigers.
Ooh, okay.
Interesting. Of course, we know Justin Verlander went to the Astros.
Yeah,
everyone down in Houston so excited to have Kate Upton back. She's the real star of the show.
She is.
I think, you know what? I'm glad they got to do New York, but I think she fits in New York.
Yeah, I'm curious what kind of prospect package Houston ended up giving up. But man, it is really wild that the Mets have kind of tearing down. We'll have to talk about that and dive into that a little bit maybe more tomorrow.
No, but we're talking about the West.
Yeah, we're talking about the NL West. Dodgers acquired shortstop Ahmed Rosario, infielder, outfielder Kike Hernandez, Joe Kelly, and Lance Lynn on the pitching side so far. Who did they deal? Really just Noah Syndergaard in that 1-for-1 swap with Cleveland for Rosario. 2 relief prospects in the Kike deal. I sort of started thinking, is the deal with the White Sox, is that the first time 2 players with female names have been dealt together, Kelly and Lynn?
Probably not, but...
Probably not.
Probably not. But what a great observation.
Is it?
That doesn't matter.
Half the stuff I say really doesn't matter, but it's kind of fun. Some people enjoy it. Kelly Johnson, Kelly Stinnett, Kelly Gruber, big leaguers with first names of Kelly. And there's a Hall of Famer with Lynn as their first name, Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan is actually his full name.
No, it's not.
It is.
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
This is great. Good useless trivia that you could kind of use today if you'd like.
Lynn!
Giants acquire A.J. Pollock and Mark Mathias from Seattle. It's going through the motions. Not going to make a huge impact there. Just for a player to be named later. So is that going to be basically, hey, Seattle, we're going to give you a list of 75 players that you can't have. Pick a name that's not on that list, and we'll give it to you this offseason. Diamondbacks get Paul Sewald to help out their bullpen, who's been really struggling here in the last few weeks. They get infielder Jace Peterson from Oakland. They do have to give up Josh Rojas, who's been somewhat of a Rockies killer, so I'm sure some Rockies fans are happy to see that. Dominic Canzona, outfielder. And Ryan Bliss, who didn't really get a chance to write about this, didn't know where it went, wasn't sure who was interested. I talked with him at the Futures game. Immediately became one of those guys you root for. It's like 5'6", very unlikely guy to be.
Short king.
He's a short king. Just seems like a really good guy. Could talk for days. I'm like, this is a great person, Ryan Bliss. So hopefully he'll go and get a chance to star a little bit with Seattle. Padres had done nothing before the Rich Hill and G-Man Choi deal with the Pirates. That's nice for them to see. The A's, we just saw the A's in town. Sam Moll, who finally
we were just talking about him. Finally got to play at Coors Field. The timing could not have been more perfect for him. But yeah, he's already out of.
Now he might go to the postseason with Cincinnati.
Good for him.
Good for him. That's fantastic.
For him. Oh, you know what? According to MLB trade rumors, the Diamondbacks were looking at Michael Lorenzen. And obviously they've lost out on him now. Yeah,
that was one of their guys. Royals have made a couple deals of subtraction. They sent a relief pitcher, Jose Cuas, to Chicago for Nelson Velasquez. So that's actually a good move, I think, for Kansas City. Nationals send Heimer Candelario to the Cubs. So Cubs continue to add there. I think that's interesting. Mets send Mark Canha to Milwaukee for Brewers' 12th best prospect according to Baseball America. We already saw Cardinals unload Jordan Montgomery, Chris Stratton to Texas. Jordan Hicks went to Toronto before we went on. Also, Paul DeYoung went to Toronto. We talked to Brendan Voda briefly as he was walking. I was like, yeah, I saw it during the show. At least they're picking a direction. And so that's always a good thing.
I think, you win the trade deadline if you pick a direction.
Yeah, it's true.
And if you're also right about the direction.
It helps you get to someplace.
Half of the battle is just picking a lane.
If you're just stalled out or you're just letting the car run, you're definitely going nowhere. You're not going to get maybe what you want. Maybe nothing bad will happen because you're in the middle of nowhere, just stalled out. But if you can actually get the car in gear and go somewhere with some direction, something good might happen to you in your life. The Rays got Aaron Savali from Cleveland. That might dash our hopes of the Guardians going to the World Series, our preseason pick there.
Why were we all in on the Guardians like that?
Well, I love their starting pitching.
It was a different time. It was a simpler time.
I'm a big Dr. Sticks fan. I enjoy Tristan McKenzie a lot. Unfortunately, he's been hurt this year. So that was kind of a big one. Cleveland gets a top 50 prospect, but it's a first base prospect in Kyle Manzardo. So the Rays are like, we can find guys growing on trees, or we can fall out of a boat and land a 3-WAR first baseman in AAA somewhere. So that's super easy for him. Atlanta gets Nicky Lopez from Kansas City, which in a corresponding move meant Charlie Culberson was designated for assignment. Rockies still have room for 2 more guys on the 40-man. Probably not going to be a reunion, though. Because Coco Montes also got promoted yesterday.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot of second basemen on the roster right now. They've got 4 second basemen.
Let's just, you know what we could use some more of? We could use some more pitchers.
Could use some more pitchers. And Charlie Culberson, I bet you he could probably figure that out. Possibly. Bit of bad news, not awful news, but disappointing news probably for some people down in Albuquerque. We found out Charlie Blackmon will not be playing in Albuquerque today and tomorrow. It seems like maybe he'll be activated sooner, so the rehab assignment maybe isn't necessary. We don't have all the details on it exactly.
Yeah, we don't have enough. I hope it's I hope he's skipping this rehab assignment for a good reason rather than he re-injured something or there's a setback and they're holding him back precautionary. But I will say, my friend Steph texted me last night. She's from New Mexico. The New Mexico local news was reporting on Charlie Blackmon's upcoming rehab assignment that is now not happening.
He has never played in Albuquerque.
What does Charlie Blackmon have against the fine city of Albuquerque?
Well, he's just been healthy. And the one time he did go in 2019 on rehab, they were in Omaha. So I'd actually have to check. Perhaps he could have played in El Paso, maybe for like a rehab assignment when he was with the Colorado Springs Sky Sox or something. Not El Paso. I kept saying, did I say El Paso?
You did say El Paso.
Albuquerque. Albuquerque didn't have a team for a while too. You know, they were the Dukes, and then they ended up moving. So has he played in Albuquerque? Maybe, but not with the Isotopes.
You know what?
In town.
Let's see if we can get a response from Josh Sushan.
He would know.
I'll shoot him a text.
He would absolutely know. So you got Blackmon possibly coming off the IL here this weekend. We'll see how long Coco is able to stick around, but you got to figure if Charlie is still healthy, he'll be back for this series this weekend in St. Louis. You also have Tyler Kinley, who we saw around in the ballpark yesterday. If he gets activated because he's on the 60-day IL, that now takes up a spot on the 40-man, and then you're now at 39 guys. So they've got some room to play around with. And look, Rockies need to pick up players on the margins, pick up players that are cast-offs from other teams. Dodgers are really good. You know, they probably could have a 50-man roster of guys who would love to sign up and, hey, stash me down to Oklahoma City just so I can have an opportunity to play if somebody gets hurt. That being said, that's 10 guys right there that are going to get dispersed to other teams. And so if the Rockies are picking up scraps from teams like the Rays or the Dodgers, which they did in Justin Brule, that's fine. That's a really good addition for the Rockies right now to see if they can find another guy that can contribute for them, not just in 2023, but beyond.
All right. I have an answer for you, by the way. So yes, you were right. He did wear a Topes uniform in Omaha in 2019. But he's never worn a Topes uniform in Albuquerque. Here's why. So he played in Albuquerque as a Colorado Sky Sox minor leaguer with no beard before the beard. And he was there for a 2019 exhibition game.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's played in Albuquerque a couple of times. He's worn a Topes uniform, but not at the same time.
Never the twain shall meet.
So thank you, Josh Sushan, for coming in clutch and answering my texts, which are always annoying. No. Always annoying.
Look, he obviously has the Susie alerts on. So like you sent it to him and immediately it went off.
Listen, he's a Virgo. He's not messing around.
He pulled over on the side of the road somewhere and he's like, I got to respond to this immediately. It's pretty good. That's the history of Charlie Blackmon in Albuquerque.
If anyone's going to know it, it's Josh Sushan.
Is that long enough to do a documentary on? Like,
I mean, if we can do 2 days in March,
we may also have to do the history of Charlie Blackmon in Albuquerque. That would be fine.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah, no, Manny, we're not trading Charlie because he's injured.
He would have to be activated now and then immediately traded.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
Not going to happen. And for anyone that is thinking back, like, wait, there were a couple trades I used to remember in August. In fact, The original deal that brought Justin Verlander from Detroit to Houston was done, I believe, on August 31st because there was a secondary waiver deadline where basically if a guy got passed through waivers, that means no one wanted him. You can trade him to another team. It was usually guys that were getting overpaid just a little bit, and no other team really wanted to take on that contract. So you could do that, but they squashed that loophole because it became too much. So after 4 p.m. today, done deal. It's over. You can't acquire anybody else. You can, but not anybody of any significance. So Charlie's staying put.
He is, yeah. And I mean, of course, if he was not injured, who knows what would have happened?
Who knows?
But we'll never know. We'll never know.
Who knows? We know. At DNVR_Rockies on Twitter, at Patrick D. Lyons is where I can be found with all of the news, notes, and happenings in the world of Rockies.
You can find me at the Susie Hunter on all platforms.
Including Threads now, right?
I'm on Threads, yeah.
Of course, all platforms.
All platforms.
I'm just reminding folks, all platforms means all platforms.
Yeah.
It's great. This has been wonderful, momentous, but you know what they say about all that stuff.
What did they say?
It's only as good as your next show, and it's going to be a good one because we'll be back right here tomorrow on the DNVR Sports Channel live post-game right here on YouTube.